I have something I want to share with you all today. I don't know if you remember a song, it's by the Manhattans. It was many years ago. I remember hearing this song growing up. And I want to share it with you guys. And I guarantee you there's a moral to the story. Now, excuse me if I don't have the tempo right or everything correctly. But do you remember that song, Kiss and Say Goodbye? Remember that? The song went, I had to meet you here today. There's just so many things to say. Please don't stop me till I'm through. This is something I hate to do. We've been meeting here so long. I guess what we've done was so wrong. Please, darling, don't you cry. Let's just kiss and say goodbye. Y'all remember that song? So he's going to meet. I had to meet you here today. There's just so many things to say. There's just so many things to say. Please don't stop me. Please don't stop me till I'm through. This is something I hate to do. Just contradicting the purpose of meeting. We've been meeting here so long. I guess what we done was all so wrong. Please, darling, don't you cry. Let's just kiss and say goodbye. Let me tell you something, guys. Certain things you don't need to meet and you don't need to speak about it. You don't need to kiss one more time. Just say goodbye. Just close that door. Now, this song, guys, it was from way back in the days. I might have been a baby back then, but it's still a hit. And I thought about that, guys, and some of you, there's something in your life that you need to let go of, but you want to kiss one more time and say goodbye. But honey, kissing is a greeting. Some things, guys, you can't have that conversation anymore because you're going to stay in that circle. Even if you go further in the song, you see that he wants to hold her one more time and everything. And some of you are in that situation. Based on the words from the song, it sounds like they are having an affair. Remember that other song, Secret Lovers? Secret lovers, yeah, that's what we are. Here we are, the two of us together. What's the song goes? Tried so hard to hide the way we feel, 'cause we both belong to someone else, but we can't let go, 'cause what we feel is all so real. But is it? These feelings and things like that, guys, you feel in your flesh and it feels good, but it's not real. It's not real. Anything that you're doing that's causing someone else's pain, regardless of your situation, regardless of how you may think it's different, whatever it may be, it may not even be you're having an affair with someone, but we could be having an affair with the world. You can be doing something that God says don't do. Disobedience. And so, guys, those feelings that are conjured up from the flesh, anything that you have to hurt other people, it's conjured in disobedience and sin. It feels good at the moment, but you have to understand that feeling is like a sin, and the feelings that comes from it and the pleasures from sin, the pleasures of defiance, that feeling is as spiritual and aesthetic. You know, I have a video that's called Sin Ema, SIN-EMA. And it really talks about the illusion of sin. And you know, when I was in the military, I worked in the hospital. I go up with the surgeons, and something that's amazing is if we put that person under general anesthesia, they lose consciousness, but they're not dead. They lose consciousness in the sense of awareness, but we can be opening up that patient and they won't feel anything. And you know, sometimes when we were done, when you know our docs were done, I had the opportunity at time to peek in and see other surgeries, and I've seen the ortho guys do a full amputation. You know, I've seen them open someone's chest and remove their heart. I've seen different things depending on what procedure is being done. I've been in and watched the ophthalmologist removing glaucoma from someone's eye. The person's talking, the person's awake, but all they did was put some drops in their eyes that kept the eye from moving and kept them from feeling anything. And the patient is talking and everything, but I'm looking at the doctors putting these instruments like inside their eyeballs and they don't feel anything. And so that's the thing with sin. You're out of it spiritually. You're walking around, but you're blind. You're hearing, but you're not hearing. And so that's the thing. The enemy will slowly, take things off of us. He'll slowly open our chest and take our hearts out spiritually and make it hard where you can't hear anything. Sin is an anesthetic, and what it does, it keeps you where you are walking around and breathing, but you're not feeling and you're not realizing things are being cut off and removed from you. That's what the enemy does. So guys, what I want to talk to you about today is let go of those things. You don't have to kiss and say goodbye. You don't have to have that last conversation. You don't have to try to explain why you're doing the things you need to do. Some things, when the Lord said go, let's go. When the Lord was getting ready to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, the angels of the Lord were sent to Lot and his family. But Lot was given the instructions, who do you have here? We're going to destroy the city. Warn them, get out of here. And Lot went to his son-in-laws, his daughter's husband. He was talking to them and they didn't take him seriously. And the angels of the Lord was warning Lot and saying, we need to go. But Lot, for some reason, kept hanging around there to the point that the angels of God had to grab him and his family by the hand and lead them out, because they're saying, we cannot destroy this place while you're still here. We need to get you out of here. We need to get you to higher ground. And so, guys, sometimes that's the problem. We're going to call that a kiss and say goodbye situation with Lot. Maybe he felt some ties. Maybe he was hoping his son-in-laws will come along. Maybe he felt bad for the people that were going to perish. He knew that if he left, the city was going to be destroyed. And maybe he felt bad he didn't want to go. Maybe that's a kiss and say goodbye. You're staying longer than you need to. You're hoping someone will come along. You're hoping someone will see the light right now. And other situations where God is saying, it's time to go. It's time to go. And then there's some of you, I'm going to go right back where I started. You're in a situation, it could be an affair, it could be a relationship that you are sexually immoral in it. It can be a relationship where you're emotionally tied. Some of you, I'm calling it out. You're not sleeping with a person, but you are tied in. You are in each other's marriages. You are a wife, that you are in that woman's husband's ear. You are a husband. You are in that man's wife's ear. You may be dating someone else, but you are somehow in another man's life, and he has someone in his life. You're in that woman's life, and she has a boyfriend or someone significant. Some of you, you're having emotional affairs with people as well as physical affairs. And there are just some things in some company that you're keeping that God is saying it's time to close that door. No more loitering and hanging around. No more making excuses. No more trying to be with a man or woman that's not saved, and you're hoping that they'll get saved. You're begging God to change them, and you know this is not working out because you're more so falling into their traps. You are more so relaxing your convictions to aid it to for things to be better between you guys. You are the one that's compromising. They are not. And so you know it's time to end this relationship, but what you want to do, you want to kiss and say goodbye. You want to have that last conversation. You want to tell them how hard it is for you to do what you're doing. But in you saying you're going to end it, but you keep talking about how hard it is, all that's doing is bringing you to have one more shot. Let's do this one more time. Some of you, you're even planning that. You're going to have one more night, one more roll in the hay with this person, one more conversation. But sometimes, guys, that one more could be your last. Sometimes, guys, that one more connection is a thing that takes you off the path. Sometimes that letting go of this situation or this person, that you keep holding on to them so long that by the time you let go, things has already passed. Sometimes, guys, you're not getting your oil until after the fact. Remember the 10 virgins, 5 were wise and 5 were foolish. Well, they realized they need their oil, so they were running at the last minute to get what they need. When God tells us to do certain things, guys, we have to think about his timing, his perfect timing. Sometimes you will do something after the fact, but that moment, that window, there's a reason why God says, do this, stop doing this, let go of that. And so you hold on too long, and sometimes you become ensnared. Sometimes you that last roll in the hay is a thing that ties you and binds you. That thing that you said you're going to do last one more time is that time that principality that takes you to a place of having a reprobate mind will step in, and you never come back to God. There are people, I'm just going to take this one last trip, and you don't realize that is your last trip on this earth ever. So I want you to take this message and please apply it where it does in your life. There's some things, guys, you don't need a kiss and say goodbye. Some doors you need to close it. Some doors you don't need to have a conversation. Some of you ladies, you keep having a conversation, and as you're having a conversation, he's kissing your neck and laying you back in them pillows. Some of you brothers, you're saying you don't want this anymore, and you talking to her and on Skype or however you're doing it on Zoom, and you're telling her it's over, and she's standing, coming up on the camera in some, scantily dressed, and you're trying to tell her it's done, and she's like, seriously, and you have this conversation, and next thing you know, you're back where you are trying to escape from. Always remember this: sin is an anesthetic. The pleasures of it is an anesthetic. The euphoric feeling, the temporary highs of it is an anesthesia, a spiritual anesthesia. And what that does, it makes you numb, so you don't feel when the enemy is cutting off things from you. When you start to lose certain things that the Lord has given you, when he begins to change your countenance spiritually, you may look the same in the mirror, but you know when you're not right, because sometimes you don't even see it. Other people can look at your face and tell the light is gone. Other people can look at you and tell you're operating in a whole different spirit than you did before. You don't feel when he's taking away the devil is taking everything off that God has adorned you with. The beauty that God gave you for the ashes, you don't see when you go back down in these places. Sin has you so caught up and so distracted. You don't feel him taking off the garment of praise off of you. You don't feel that anymore. You don't feel him taking off the royal diadem that the Lord has placed on your head. You don't see where he's slowly taking off the the shoes of the gospel of peace. You don't feel that. You don't realize he's slowly taking off the belt of truth over you. You don't realize he's removed the breastplate of righteousness off of you. You don't realize he took off the helmet of salvation because you're feeling so good. You don't need a kiss and say goodbye. And guys, it's not necessarily just physically kissing, even though some of you are. Some people are. But sometimes, guys, it's simply the sentimental attachments that you have to people. It may be loved ones. It may be a place that God is telling you to leave. It just may be a habit that you have that is hard for you to break. You don't need to have that conversation. Some things God needs you to execute. You move out now, and then you can have an AAR, an after action review with the Lord, where you can talk about the 3 ups and the 3 downs, the 3 things that works and the 3 things that didn't work, and and what you can do to make it better. Okay, you can have that talk with the Lord. You can ask all the questions. You can get all the answers, but you need to move. You know, sometimes in a search and rescue, or when a building's on fire, the firefighter comes in. He may need to grab you. You may still be hurt. There's still something you left behind in that fire. That firefighter is not going to turn around and go get your cell phone. He's going to pull you up. Your cell phone may burn, all those things, but he has saved your life. You don't need to kiss and say goodbye. Simply obey the Lord. All right, guys.